There's no other way to put it, so I'll just come out and say it. There isn't enough story and character development in Ahsoka to justify its existence. It feels like Dave Filoni and Lucasfilm took the script of a movie and stretched it out beyond all reason. Why would I say this? We don't get an episode surrounding an idea until episode 5, and even that is so confusing that it makes me wonder how it got greenlit. With that said, it's time for the first 4 episodes. Let's see what we're dealing with. After the crawl, 2 hooded figures supposedly claiming to be Jedi board a New Republic starship, but there's a problem.
You're no Jedi. Just some overconfident Imperial trash who just pushed their luck too far.
Then why did you let them on the ship? If they do know how to use the Force and are hostile, you're screwed. Oh, wait. This is the New Republic. I forgot that they have to be idiots. The 2 mercenaries break Morgan out of the ship, and we learn that Ahsoka is looking for a map. Sure enough, Ahsoka finds the map and fights some droids. She forgets to take out 2 of them for some reason, and they apparently have nukes in their chassis. Yeah, she's not gonna die this early. Let's watch her escape. Later on, she meets with General Syndulla and is told what we already saw. I want you to keep this scene in mind. Ahsoka knows that 2 Force users rescued Morgan and receives the news in the wake of her recovery mission. But first, we need some pointless girl power. Commander Sabine Wren missed a ceremony in her honor, so the governor sent some pilots after her. Why would he even bother with that? She's obviously a jerk, but is there a law where she has to show up? After Sabine feeds her space kitty and watches a recording of Ezra, who is that again? She goes back into the city to meet Ahsoka. She acts like a grumpy teenager for some reason and offers to take the map to analyze it. So naturally, Ahsoka keeps eyes on Sabine at all times and... oh, she learns about Balin's skull and lets her leave? Why is she talking to Hera? There are 2 Force users out there. Do something! Sabine discovers that the passkey for the map was left on the floor of the temple, and that's exactly when the villains show up. Sabine takes out 1 droid, but the other escapes with the map and hands it over to Shin Hati. That's the girl mercenary, for those of you who are keeping track. Sabine gets into a lightsaber fight and... she's dead. Even if she isn't, a huge slice of her internal organs are gone. How is she going to No! No! Why? Dave Filoni just sucked all of the tension out of the story. If Sabine can survive a saber stab to the gut with no real harm done, what can't she do? Ahsoka discovers a 3rd droid at Sabine's place. When she takes it back to the hospital, we learn something important about the recovery.
So what happens if you get the power levels wrong?
The head will explode.
Explode?
Wait, what? Why are you doing this? You're activating what is effectively a bomb in a city hospital. Why? Fortunately, Hu Yang pulls the plug. The droids came from Corellia, and we also get more moaning.
You did good.
Tell that to her.
Ugh. After we learn that there's a planet named Peridia in another galaxy, Shin heads over to Corellia. Ahsoka and Sabine are there too. They get a tour from Dr. Tao, but there's a catastrophic problem.
You will still find ex-Imperials at every level of the New Republic government.
Every level? Why would they allow that? Why would anyone? And then we learn why Sabine fell short.
I have known many Padawans over the centuries, and I can safely say your aptitude for the Force would fall short of them all.
Not gonna lie, that's a great line. Also, everyone working at the Corellian factory is an Imperial, which presents 2 giant problems. 1. If the New Republic is so compromised that it'll just allow this, Thrawn will be able to kick the door in and destroy it. He can't be a proper threat because sequel trilogy. 2. If they just stalled out Hera and Ahsoka with more touring, the plot would have been completely over. Oh well, moving on. There's a ship getting away. While Ahsoka fights a supposed Inquisitor, Hera doesn't seem to want to shoot the ship down because it would crash. Oh really? You're worried about that now and are just going to tell Chopper to plant a tracker? The factory workers are arrested, Sabine cuts her hair before pickup, and no one will learn anything from this. Why? Oh. Time to Fly opens with some wooden sword training. Hu Yang doesn't think that Sabine did all that well, but why would that be the case? A lightsaber doesn't have an edge. And then we get a pseudo-repeat of fighting with a mask on. It's kind of funny to see Sabine flail around. However, her anger and frustration don't seem to bother Ahsoka one bit. This completely contradicts her appearance in The Mandalorian when she feared that Grogu would be vulnerable to anger. Is Sabine just okay because woman? Over at the fleet, Hera meets with Chancellor Mothma and the Defense Council. She describes what happened in the last episode, but the senators don't want to hear it for some reason. You'd expect Hera to also point out that Shin showed up at Sabine's house, but nah. Oh, there's also this.
Isn't this just another attempt to gain New Republic resources to aid in what has ultimately been your personal quest to find Ezra Bridger?
Bringing a Jedi and a war hero back home isn't worth considering either? Oh wait, I forgot that these characters have to be idiots to justify the sequel trilogy. Also, why not call up Luke? He'd take an extreme interest in the appearance of two lightsaber-wielding maniacs, wouldn't he? Hera's son Jason wants to be a Jedi. That's nice, I guess. A little bit later, Sabine deals with her frustration over not being able to use the Force.
Talent is a factor. But training and focus are what truly defines someone's success.
Really, Ahsoka? Are you sure that training and focus matter? Yeah, Sabine can't do it. Hera can't help, so the crew drops out of lightspeed and has to deal with 6 fighters. And thus, we get into a dogfight. A long dogfight with no tension whatsoever. Our heroines see the Eye of Sion and move toward it for a scan for some reason. They get whacked by turbo lasers. As the scan completes, the ship is hit and they're left adrift with no apparent damage whatsoever. Ahsoka walks out on the wings so the fighters shoot the other side and blow up the ship. Oh, never mind. They shoot at Ahsoka and she destroys one with her lightsabers. Whatever. Sabine restarts the ship and we head down to the planet. There are space whales in the clouds. Hu Yang reboots and they land in a forest. Hu Yang reveals the result of the scan and it makes the whole thing pointless. They already knew that Morgan was stealing hyperdrives with the intent to jump to another galaxy. Why would they need to put themselves in danger to confirm it, especially since they know that the comms are jammed? Anyway, don't think about it. Baylan has to look into the distance. If you thought that the last one was plotless, wait until you get a load of this. Apparently, Sabine and Hu Yang are trying to call for help, but how would that work when they already acknowledge that the comms are being jammed? A little bit later, Sabine gets irritated at the fact that Ahsoka might destroy the map to prevent Thrawn's return.
He'd be stranded out there. Maybe this time for good.
Better that than allowing Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire. His attachment to you makes him vulnerable to his fears.
Hey Ahsoka, are you sure about that whole attachment thing? Is it suddenly good when you're a woman, but bad when you're a guy? Hu Yang is attacked outside, so he cuts the power to alert the others. Ahsoka and Sabine jump out to help. Once our heroines get rid of the goons, they run off to find the enemy's base. Meanwhile, Hera, Jason, and Chopper lead a flight of 5 X-Wings into the fight, which is nice, I guess. Morgan starts the hyperspace calculations, and we get 2 fights. Sabine takes on Shin, and Ahsoka fights Marok. The Black Knight does the spinny thing, but Ahsoka easily kills him and... he's a puff of smoke? Ahsoka runs off to confront Baylan and we get a diatribe about how he knew Anakin and what he became. There's another lightsaber fight that lasts for a while until Ahsoka grabs the map. That takes it off the platform, but burns her hand. She has a hard time with that for some reason, apart from smacking Shin against the wall, obviously. Sabine shows up at the rocks, so Ahsoka orders her to destroy the map. Baylan knocks Ahsoka over the edge and into the water below. And then we get something that is at least kind of interesting. Sabine can't bring herself to destroy the map. Therefore, Baylan makes her a deal to bring her to Ezra. He stops Shin from killing her too, which is a good sign that he's at least somewhat honorable. As Hera's team tries to block the Eye of Sion, Baylan destroys the map and shuttles back to the ship with Sabine and Shin. The Eye jumps, destroying 2 X-Wings in the process. Hera is so fired that it's not even funny. Oh, by the way, Ahsoka supposedly survived and is greeted by none other than Anakin Skywalker. So, that's the first 4 episodes of Ahsoka, and the fact that I spent so little time on each of them should tell you something. The story is simplistic enough, but the characterization and everything else are coasting off of Rebels. And sure, David Tennant is always fun, but it feels like there's something missing here. But who knows, maybe the next 4 episodes will add more to it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked that, there's more where that came from, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Sharing is caring as well. What fun! If you'd like to support the channel directly, along with all of our other efforts, be sure to check out the links in the description. Keep on rolling, and I'll see you next time.